Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Spirit. My name is Rita Gigante, psychic medium healer, and today we have a fabulous guest on. Her name is Renee Elena. Renee does tarot card readings, and her story is phenomenal. So I want to bring her on, and I want to welcome her and enjoy this session. Thank you. Let's start out with how this all began. Like when did you know you can read and do tarot cards, and when did you even realize you had psychic abilities?
So basically, ever since I was a child, I would say about 7 or 8 years old, I was very empathic and
Okay.
I could, you know, feel people's energy. I can sense things. I remember my mom broke her leg once and she was in the living room and I was crying in my bedroom. And she's like, Renee, come, she called me and come in here. What's wrong? And I said, I don't know. I feel your pain. So, at that young age, I was very empathic and, I could feel
Right.
her energy and I could feel other people's energies. I could instantly tell if someone, had good energy or had bad energy. Um, I could tell, at such a
Hmm.
young age. And I was always right. And my family would always say, oh, you're right. You're right, Ray, or you're such a bruja, which is, in Spanish. They called me a witch at a young age because I always, knew things. So
Yeah.
my cousin
It's
said,
it's tough being the one in the family that knows things and doesn't know how you know it. And the family's looking at you like you got 10 heads, like,
yeah, they would just immediately go, oh, you're a witch, and like that was a bad thing. Like,
right, right. But
now
you're
it's
a white
not.
witch. You're a white witch,
I'm a
which is
white witch.
great.
Yeah. So
Uh,
um I when I started doing my spiritual work, doing energy healing and Reiki,
right.
I would receive a lot of psychic information when I would do a cleansing or healing on a client. And so I would do like a little mini tarot reading at the end of our session to wrap things up. And that kind of like pushed me into my psychic abilities,
Hmm.
wanting to, learn the tarot and really incorporate that and start giving, full on tarot readings. So that's how it basically started. I just bought every tarot deck I could find and, they would always find me. And I just love the whole aesthetic of tarot and, how it helps guide
Right.
and
Yeah,
all the,
it's one of the things I don't do, but I'm fascinated by who does do it because they are so connected to the cards.
yeah,
And I when I watch you, I'm like, wow, that's it's just for some people that's their that's their vehicle. So
exactly. Yeah,
so
whatever you're drawn to.
yeah, and I remember you telling me a story. I think it was about was it your mother-in-law or your future mother-in-law? Like there something happened that really like, yeah, I want to hear this one. I want you to tell everybody.
Yeah,
It's been a long time since you told the story, so I want to hear it.
yeah, it's an interesting story.
Yeah, very.
It's basically how my spiritual journey, my awakening, my spiritual ascension, it's how it started. So I was 19 years old and I
Okay.
moved out of my house for the first time, and I moved in with my fiance to his very haunted house.
My goodness.
It was the most dark, desolate, haunted house on the block. I think
I
I think the kids during Halloween would like pass the house. They wouldn't even go up. They were just
was gonna
like,
say, good time of year to be talking about this, right?
yeah,
We're right
yes,
around the corner.
spooky
Yeah.
season. Yeah, it was definitely a spooky house, and a lot of spiritual activity happened there. Not only to myself and my fiance, but to my friends and family that would come over. Even one of my friends, she had stayed over one night, and we heard a large crash on the street, and she felt something push her at her back, and somebody had wrapped her car like basically around a tree. It was like a
Oh my
drunk
God.
driver or something and hit her car, and it hit a tree, and it was like this whole big thing. So I mean, things would happen to me also, and things would hit me when I would be in the basement. So there's a lot of spiritual activity, and I started to get like depressed, and I just wasn't really happy there. And my aunt suggested that we go see a psychic to have my cards read to see what was going on.
Okay.
So, this was my first experience really as a 20-year-old, getting a psychic reading, getting my tarot cards read. So it was kind of like a movie scene. We went into this woman's basement in like West New York, and it was like in a kitchen on like a folding table.
Right.
She was this, exotic, mystical Spanish woman, and she had like a gold tooth, the whole spiel, the whole bit, the whole nine.
So I love it. Oh my God.
So it was like a real experience. Like it wasn't like something you go to like the mall and go to a psychic. This was like underground. Like literally,
Right.
our apartment was like under.
Oh
under.
my God. You would think she was back like when they were killing the witches, like she was
Yeah,
hiding like from,
yes.
beheaded, my goodness.
Yes.
But okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
it was intense, but it was interesting. So, I'm skeptical, and I'm sitting there, and she says, you have the spirit of a woman where you live. And this woman has been mourned by her son and her father, her husband and her son, for so long that her spirit wasn't able to cross over into the light. So she was kind of like, some parts of her were like stuck in the house. So that's
Hmm.
why there was so much activity there. And she said, I was led there to that psychic to help her cross over, and that she would help me. So I'm sitting there, doubting
Yeah,
it. And I'm like,
yeah, of
looking at
course.
the woman like, yeah, okay. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand any of that, spirits. I
Right, of
grew up totally Catholic, we didn't speak about things like that. So
course.
the minute I started doubting, the reader, the woman, she just turned white, completely like she saw a ghost, and she just stopped speaking, and she's just looking at me with a dead stare. And I'm like, am I supposed to say something? Like, what am I supposed to do? Why is she not talking? And then
Right.
all of a sudden, I felt the spirit of my ex's mother jump into my physical body.
Yeah.
So,
Like the movie with what's her name? Ghost.
ghost, yes.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
like the mounting of the spirit into my body, and I,
Right.
I immediately felt the message of, now do you believe this is real? Like
Oh
she
my
was telling
God.
me that message, and I was terrified. I was in shock, paralyzed. I couldn't believe what had happened. As quickly as she went in my body was as quickly as she went out. And the reader, came to, and she looked at me like, I told you so. She didn't even need to say it. Like she may have said it in Spanish because she barely spoke English, but she
Right.
um
Did you,
told
did
you.
you, that was your first experience ever with something psychic, correct?
Yes, with a tarot reading.
So what did it physically feel like to have her in your body? Was it like shock? Did it feel like, didn't feel good, or did it feel fantastic? What was it like?
It was like nothing I can ever really put into words. It was an incredible feeling of feeling spirit in my body. And if that were to happen to me today, it would be a totally different story, because I'm so much more spiritually evolved, and I have my protection, my shields up, and
Yeah, of course.
I know how energy is supposed to feel, because I've been feeling energy for so long on other people, and I know when something is not right on myself. Whenever
Right.
I feel something negative, I could feel it in the back of my neck and
Okay.
my neck chakra here. So I definitely felt that energy in a different way then, because I wasn't used to feeling energy, and it was terrifying. I literally slept in fetal position that night.
Oh my goodness.
I
I
was
can't even
I
imagine.
was I think I was 20 years old at that point, and
Right.
it was terrifying. I was so scared, and I was so you know hesitant and reluctant to go through with it, but I knew I had to help her, and I knew that it was part of my mission to do a spirit rescue for her. And
Wow.
I really didn't know about that then. I
Right.
know all about it now, but I basically did a spirit rescue at 20 years old, and helped this woman, with my abilities. And she showed me that I had the ability. They call it in Spanish misa, which is what my ancestors had the ability to do for spirit to mount and
Okay.
into a physical living body. And so I just I
So take me, do you remember, like, take me through, like, how you actually did it, where you felt that she crossed?
So the reader told me all the things that I had to do. I had to get certain um certain items of hers, and certain things like spiritual items, and I had to do
Sure.
like sort of like rituals and stuff. I actually had to go to her grave and it was a snowstorm and it was a blizzard and I was like digging under ice and snow and doing all these things. And the next day I actually immediately after I did that spirit rescue, the next day I got word that I got a job that I had applied for, and that same day I won $100 in a scratch off. And so for me, that was like confirmation that she had crossed over. Like she was saying, here's like a little gift for you, just so you have confirmation, because I felt it. I felt her energy when I received those two blessings. I
Sure.
felt her energy, and I knew that she had crossed over, and even more so that she gave me these gifts. That her saying she would help me was that she really opened my eyes to spirituality, and how not only we can help spirit rescue, but we can help people through psychic readings, through mediumship readings, through Reiki healings, energy healings.
Sure.
We like our light workers now are here to help not only the people in the physical world, but to help people in the spirit world, to help our loved ones in spirit. So it was just such an amazing thing for me that she basically helped me, start my path as a light worker, and I
My God.
owe it so much to her that she, started me on this journey. And ever since then, I've been, I was in search 20 years. I was doing all the work and, in
Hmm.
search of how I would do my spirit work, and it landed me into tarot. Just so
Cool.
ironic because that's basically how it all started. So I
Yeah.
feel very deeply connected to the tarot.
Yeah. I know because I've seen you. So tell me this. Since that moment, have you ever experienced that again?
I have not.
So
Um,
you've never allowed another energy to enter your body after that?
I've had energies attached to me, negative
Yes.
energies attached to me, and I can feel it immediately. And I do all my things when, in my 20s, it happened to me in my 20s also. And, I didn't know what to do. I'd be crying and I wasn't guided accordingly. I was, it was very scary and I didn't know how to approach it.
Hmm.
I mean, I would be in my apartment in Englewood in my 20s and I would be laying on the couch and I could, there would be like 8 people in my living room.
Right.
And I would just close my eyes until they would go away, but now I'd be like have a party with them and
All
we'd all
right.
talk to each other. But when you're young, it's like it's very difficult to navigate through that because you don't know
Absolutely.
how how
Absolutely.
to your way around it.
And you're and I'm older than you, and in my day, there truly was nothing, like an empath. What the hell was that?
No, no,
It
I
was
know my family didn't know that, and they that wasn't something that was common. That wasn't something that it was like you were diagnosed with that, or it was like you were a schizophrenic or you were a crazy person or you were a witch,
exactly.
and you would just, oh, you're a witch because you know things.
Yeah.
They didn't know. They didn't know
Exactly.
about all the clairs and all those things. It was not known, but now it's becoming so mainstream, which is so great because I see a lot of children that are coming into this, there's like it's like the next wave
Oh
of
yeah, they're being born highly psychic.
born extremely
Crazy.
psychic. Yeah, it's
And the
insane.
good news now is that there's so much support for it.
Yes,
And we're in need of this desperately because of everything that's going on.
yes,
So grateful for that.
exactly.
Um, so I mean, you picked the tarot to move through to spirit, and the reason why was because of this particular incident, or did tarot came after this, and it was the one tool that you felt could directly link you to spirit? Because, like, I know people do pendulums. Like people begin with pendulums, and they feel comfortable
Yes,
asking the yes and no questions. You can't really ask a lengthy question to a pendulum, right? You get a yes or no answer. But
exactly.
the cards just completely resonated with you, and
Yes. I actually started my psychic journey doing auto writing and connecting with spirit in that way. And it really helped me personally. But
so what would happen when you did auto writing? What would happen? Like, you would sit down, and because
so I
some
would,
people don't even know what that is.
yeah, so auto writing is a tool that you can use for yourself or you can use, for clients. And it's just a way to tap into spirit guide and, use your intuition and your psychic abilities to you're basically channeling what spirit says and you're writing it. So
Okay.
I would write a question, I would write it down, write the question, and then I would just, take a few deep breaths and wait for spirit to give me the answer. And I would just write, and then spirit would just give me the answers. And that really worked for me when I was doing shadow work.
Okay.
Really liked it during certain times, but
Hmm.
I'm a visual learner. I'm not a writer. I would say I'm more of a creative side, more of like an artistic visual learner. So the cards were extremely important to me because I could see pictures and I can see images on a card and learn the tarot that way. And I could give my own interpretation. I don't have to use exactly, the king of Pentacles,
Whatever it was
this
saying. Yeah.
mainstream. I could use my own intuition, which was amazing to me because that opened up, a whole world of psychic information that I could bring through to my clients or to myself, or anyone that I'm reading. The cards were extremely important because I could see those images, and I love looking at images and just getting a reading from the image and using my psychic abilities through the images of the cards.
Yeah. It's cool. It really is. I, when, and there's all different tarot cards, like, people are used to the Ace of Cups or the King of Swords or something along those lines, right? I'm clueless, but I'm just saying, I've had it done before. So, but there are so many other ones now that they have out there.
Yes.
The angels, the archangels. Um, I've seen so many things on abundance and, serenity and you name it. There's
Name it.
cards for everything now.
Affirmations, moon cards. I mean, you can see all of my
Oh
decks.
my God, yes, I see. I just realized there's like 1,000 decks up there. And then what happens when someone makes an appointment? You get the hit like, oh, we're going to use this deck today.
Yes.
Okay,
And I'll pick my main deck, and then I'll say, okay, I feel like they need this, they need that. So then even, during the reading, I'll just, pick some other decks if I want to give like an oracle card, if I just want to like wrap up the theme of the reading. And I'll
right.
do that for I do readings on social media where I do a collective card reading.
Oh,
And I
cool.
also pull different cards like that for whatever I feel like the collective means at that time.
Right.
So I'll pull, different decks, whatever the theme is or whatever just I'm pulled to, and I'll,
Yeah.
I'll incorporate that into that reading. So it's not just one, not just one deck, which is
Right.
cool because it gives different perspective and a different message from, like you said, angels. And I have decks that are ascended masters, so it'll bring in ascended masters to give like another bit of clarity on the situation or a bit of hope, whatever the reader or
Yeah.
the collective is needing at that time.
That's fantastic. I love the diversity of it. I think I love that the most.
Yeah.
Diversity of it. Every once in a blue moon, do I get like, oh, I'm going to pick a card for someone today because Spirit says it, not because
Right.
I use the decks because I don't. But
Yeah.
and I think I only have two decks to be honest with you. So I tell Spirit, make sure it's in the deck that I have. But I like it just as like you said, like at the end, you just pull something for someone. It's fun. Like for me, it's fun. For you, it's business.
Yeah.
Like we need business here, which um is fantastic. And I'm due for a reading, by the way. So I'll be calling you for that. All
Right.
right. So did you always know you were going to help the greater good? Like, did you always feel pulled to want to be of service here? Was it something that um, came when you were young, or was this more as you kind of delved in?
It basically started when I had my first tarot reading. And ever since then, always had in the back of my head, I know I need to do spiritual work. And at that point, I didn't even know what spiritual work was. So,
Right.
the years would go by. I was a paralegal for 15 years. I was a hairdresser. I was this and that, and I didn't, really dive into spirituality until I think it was about 2015. 2017, my aunt had a major heart attack and she was in the hospital in ICU. And a woman came in and she said, we're doing our Reiki healings. And she did it on my aunt. My aunt had like an IV in her neck and she was in really bad shape. And my aunt
Okay.
like fell asleep for the first time, after this energy
Wow.
healing. And I looked at that woman and like I brought tears to my eyes and I said, I want to do that. I want to do energy healing. So that was kind of like my into the spiritual world, doing Reiki. It was in a safe practice
Mm-hmm.
because there was some fear that I had with spirituality. As you can imagine, when a spirit jumps into your body when you're 20 years
Okay.
old.
God.
So I had a little
Yeah.
fear with spirituality for a while there, but the Reiki was such an easy way for me to like just get integrated into my spirituality and really step into my spiritual power. So from the Reiki healing, I just felt like I have so much more. I have so much more to give than just energy healing. I want to use my psychic abilities. I want to use my mediumship abilities, and so I just started to incorporate that into my spiritual practice, and then it just evolves and
It evolves, right?
constantly
Exactly.
evolve, and we constantly learn new things and we are drawn to new things. So I'm excited to see, what else I'll be drawn to next. But
I
I
know. I
love
find
all.
that spirit, the minute you like sit and go, what else? Boom, it's like you can't even get the words out. It's in
Yeah.
front of you at this
Yep.
point, right? And I have to
Exactly.
say, it needed to go somewhat. Reiki was fabulous to incorporate when it went mainstream. It really helped people to understand energy in a different way, and it was
Yes.
accepted. It took a minute, but then once it was accepted, that was like our in,
Yes.
to healing, right? It was our into the chakras. So having Reiki and even having tarot, because I don't know what does tarot date back till? Like it's got to be hundreds of years that people are
Yeah.
doing tarot. So again, it's one of those mainstream things that we needed in order to develop ourselves, so to speak. Without those two, uh, you know so it's I love that you incorporate all of it. It seems like we're headed in that direction as healers, as psychic readers, of whatever it is. It's like I tell people now, I just do everything. Like there's no
Exactly.
even explanations anymore. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I do this, I do this, I wear a lot of hats, like the one I'm wearing. So
Exactly.
I just switch the hat with whatever spirit tells me to do, right?
Exactly.
You just give them what they need, and that's what I think I love about it the most. It's not like, for me anyway. For others, this may not be a good thing, but for me, it's different every day, which is what I love.
I
Other
love
than
that.
go, like, I could not go to a job and be an accountant every day doing the same thing over and
Yeah.
over again, right? I love that. I don't know what I'm walking into next.
Exactly.
That it's exciting, like what you
Yes.
can do. So,
I feel the
um,
same.
so tell me. I mean, tell me your goals now, moving forward. What are your goals? Do you want to be full time with this? Do you want to? Where are you at with that?
Yes, definitely. I want to do as much as I can. Of course, when you're starting your journey and or you're in it and you want to do everything, you want to heal everyone and you want to help everyone and you just want to do everything. So I definitely just want to focus on being a tarot reader professionally, being a medium, um, and doing healing work, doing energy work, continue to do my Reiki work. I'm also getting into animal communication.
I love it.
Yeah, animal healing and animal
So
communication.
many people request that.
Yes.
So that's good. That's
I'm
awesome to
very I'm
hear.
very connected to Mother Earth, but I'm very connected to the elementals and
Mhm,
to all animals in nature, and I feel a special bond with them.
mhm.
I do tree therapy a lot. I tree bathing and forest
Oh,
therapy. I do that a lot, so I really connect and ground myself with Mother Earth, and
mhm.
I'm connecting to animals as much as I possibly can, so I can help animals, even wild animals or animals that people have as their children. I'm not
Hmm.
great pets because my cats are my children.
Of course, of
So,
course.
my ultimate goal is to use my abilities to help as many people, as many spirits, and as many animals that I can on my time on Earth. I just, I want to help everyone as much as possible,
That's
however
beautiful.
many people that I can, just reach everyone around the world and whoever I can reach, whoever is drawn to me.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing to have these gifts. And sometimes they're very overwhelming
No,
and it can be
they
very
can be.
difficult navigating through, what's going on with the world. If you're, especially if you're an empath and you're feeling the collective energy of what's going on the planet right now, it's very heavy, it's very intense, and it could feel very lonely for some people. So I really
Sure.
help people who are feeling that loneliness, feeling that, you know, I don't have anyone, or feeling that like they're in a dark place. I want to show them that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Always.
Yeah.
Everything is always happening for our highest good.
Right.
And I want to show people that. And through my energy work, with love and compassion and empathy, I just want to help everyone. Anyone that
Yeah.
I can.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. It's every day figuring out, okay, spirit, put me where I need to be so
Right.
that I can be of service. You know,
Exactly.
it's about being of service. And everybody has, I tell people all the time, everybody has abilities. It's just how much do you want to, cultivate them? How much do you want to use them, whether it's for yourself or for others? Not
Exactly.
everybody's going to want to do it,
No.
which is fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but they need to know that they can become empowered to do it.
yeah.
And well, let me ask you this: do you teach at all?
I have not started teaching yet.
Is that something that you want to do?
Perhaps one day.
Okay, cool. That's good to know and keep in mind because sometimes people ask me, do I know a teacher for tarot? And I don't really know a teacher. I just know people that do it.
Yeah.
But I would imagine it would be fun. I teach a lot, so I understand it's fun to watch people develop.
Yeah.
It really is
Rewarding.
very,
Yeah.
very. So all right. So how do people get in touch with you?
So I'm on social media on Instagram. I am Renee Elena. Also
Okay,
on TikTok, I am Renee Elena, and Zuni Rose Healing on Facebook.
Facebook.
So you can contact me, direct message me on any of my social medias, or you can email me directly at zunirosehealing@gmail.com.
How did you get the name Zuni Rose?
So both my grandmother and my mother have passed on, and my grandmother's name was Zunilda, and they called her Zuni, and my mother's name was Rosanna, and my grandmother would call her Rosi in Spanish,
Mhm.
which is like Rose, Rose.
Rose.
And Rose was always a sign from my mother after she passed.
Okay,
So I combined the two, Zuni and Rose. So my grandmother and my mother are
it's great.
close with me at all times.
Yeah, I'm sure they help you
It's
in
an
each of
honor
your
though. Oh
readings.
yeah,
You
for
know,
sure. One
fantastic.
day. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to, any message you want to leave the people that are, going to be watching this? Anything you can help them with?
I think right now with the energy the way it is, my message would be to stay strong, to know that you have so much power within you. You have so many capabilities. You have courage and confidence that you could literally pull from the depths of your soul because times are so hard right now. I'm hearing from so many loved ones and friends that they're going through this and that. And I'm telling them, trying to encourage them, you're feeling the collective energy. It's very heavy for everyone right now. So, don't beat yourself up. Don't think that you're alone. You
Right.
have spirit with you. You have your loved ones with you. Call out to your spirit guides, call out to your angels, call out to your loved ones. Even when you feel, sad one day or if you're feeling very stressed, just connect more with your higher self and with your spirit team. And that'll help you so much
Mm.
to navigate through this heavy, intense energy that we're going through right now. And
That's beautiful. That's perfect, actually, because I think that if people learn to be more in the moment, they can literally stay grounded and centered. It's
in the now.
really, it's we're really learning how to be in this time.
Yeah.
It's because we're so used to doing. but we're really learning how to be. And that was perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
And for those of you who watch this and want to get in touch with Renee, please. She's fabulous. I've worked with her, and you will love it. I promise. And thank you all for joining. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we will see you again soon.